This one's all about photographic seeing and especially how to make photos. So if you want to take a walk with me, and we're going to be here for about 10 minutes, looking at the Hylands estate for 30 Days Wild, which we know is a couple of days over. This is a dozen photos that I took in this very small area when I had a walk around on the 15th of May. So what we're going to do is trying to find these photos. So let's start. Hylands Estate, home of the V Festival. And we're just walking through, and I want to start paying attention of what's around us because it's quite difficult. I'm using open camera on Android to do this. So if you've not been there before, which probably most of you have not because this video is going out quite wide, you've got some old iron gates here. And when you go through, which is starting to think, and I've paused the video here to talk about, look at the light, look at the darks, and look at the shiny bits. Because for me, I start asking questions about myself. And am I really looking? Am I really listening? Eyes, ears, hands and feet. Nothing else in your mind at all apart from living in that moment, because that's where the photographic scenes are going to come from. Because often what you see in front of you is stuff that you see every day. But you have to look around. And I started to do that on this particular morning. And it was quite overcast and rainy, not how you see it right now. There's a little bridge, little stream and a brook. And that's where I started to see photo number one. It's there, look at the arch. There was a stream, but when I saw it, I had that vision of that black and white image in my head, and there it is on screen. Slightly to the left, looking up, same tree, but just a totally, almost like comedic gesture from the tree showing off to us, and that's what I saw. Slightly to the left of that, going back towards the iron gates, was this photo, which is ever so hard to do because there were so many brights and so many dark. So I think I took about 6 shots after waiting in quite a long time. You can see the Woodford Church spire in the far distance. So that's what, photo number 2. Really bright, really dark, all at the same time. Now slightly behind that, to the left, is another big tree. Okay, we're back at the original photo that we did. And we walked just to the right. And we saw this, which I find at the time was like an okay image, but after the event, when I've come back and processed it, I was like, that's an incredibly good looking geometric image that kind of just like sprays its dark branches all over the shot while looking to the right out towards the field. You can see the iron gates over there, look. As we see it today, the light has changed very much, and I could easily rephotograph that. Coming down to the bottom, we can have a little rummage in the stinging nettles to see what we can find. And what we can find is a picture for the 30 Days Wild of the dozen images that we are talking about today. So what did we do next? We've had a look at 4 photos. This is the same tree, but I'm just in the stream having a wander about. We've come back outside the gates and picked up a public footpath, which is the path that I keep referring to through the 30 Days Wild to say that I've walked across this path, and something huge for me is about to happen, because I start to walk, and this is what we all see if we're walking the dog or just having a wander. Usually if we're with another human being, we're chatting away and all these things go past us. But on this occasion I was walking and walking. I think, and the beautiful thing is that I'm narrating this after I've made this video, so it's just time to sink in. And let's see. Yeah, I think it was this corner here. We come right, boom, there you go. That completely has made this all change for me. And the reason is because the way the trees are positioned, they've just jumped out at me. How on earth did that single tree manage to get in the centre of the path? Well, the answer is people have walked around it, of course, but you do, as it says on screen, spend time looking and thinking about what that scene is saying to you. Geometry, angles, and a story. My photos try and tell a story. In other words, the way your eye leads in, usually from the left, it looks for like these serpentine arches. So what do we do next? We go past, and the weirdest thing is that all of these photos are made up from this one path, not only, but the trees are, I don't know, kind of just like sitting there in the weirdest way. And I appreciate, one, you don't have to walk this path for it to happen. And number two is you could walk any old path if you look very carefully. Got another two there. Now, when I said look carefully, there is a horizontal or a diagonal branch which we had a storm, or it's just vanished. I didn't realise this until I got home. Look, those are my original images from weeks ago. And if you look on the ground, maybe it was cut down, maybe it just, from the storm, just collapsed. But whatever happens is, I guess I must have one of the last pictures of that horizontal beam, which I imagine was pretty heavy. And then we carry on. These trees, which I'm not very good at identifying apart from the obvious, are just very attractive in their own way, with the knots and the little mini growths on them. Again, if you imagine that we were doing this at night time, it would be pitch black and we couldn't see anything. I say that as the light that we have got today was not the light that I took the photographs in, because when I took the photos it was very overcast and it was full cloud. Today, wandering about the place, we can see it's dry, the path is well trodden, and then eventually we get to, I think it's Sandy Brook, which is this tiny bridge coming up. When we get there, for me initially it's like I don't like anything in my photos that date the picture or are man-made obstacles. In this case, the bridge and its timber rails either side were quite nice, if I got it at the right angle. Goodness, has 8 minutes gone of this video. Then I came in and then I rotated to the right, and you could see that others had, whether it's adults or children, had been down there previously. Little brook with hardly any flow. I think we'd had a picture there, didn't we, of that one? And then we went back to the other side, which, when I show you the images, if you've not seen them already, the blurry one, the vertical one, which we're about to find now, is probably, say, my favourite. It might not be yours. You might not be a fan of bridges and trees or streams. But we get there and we rotated to the left and we sort of stood for a while and we saw the pebbles and we saw those two trees almost like guarding the bridge. It's just beautiful, really. Again, to me, I make sure that it's not beautiful to everyone because it might not be your thing. But for me, it gives me an incredible feeling of health, well-being and calm, which is a direct opposite of retracing our paths at, I think it's double or quadruple speed in the video here, just to go through and to appreciate again. Remember, if you're looking at a scene, especially a path, you've got to look in the opposite direction or go back, because every single scene is going to be different. This little section of me speaking and what you're seeing will finish in, 40 seconds time? And we go back to the beginning. Look at the way the sun is coming through there, making this tree. You can see on video, very difficult to photograph in terms of you've got some big brights and some darks there. Then we go through and we're back to the beginning. And when we get back to the beginning, you'll notice it is back where the vehicular access is again. Good luck with your photos. I will be coming back with how to make photos.